Ooh, later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we're still live on YouTube. Friday is the best day to get in the YouTube chat. We're going to be playing Name That Movie Cult Classic a little bit later on. Pop quiz for you guys, pop quiz. When I say Six Flags, you may or may not know Knott's Berry Farm and also Magic Mountain are both Six Flags parks. Which do you think is more heavily attended? Which do you think has more foot traffic, more visitors each year?
Knott's.
Between which?
Six Flags, Magic Mountain, and Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh, yeah, I would say Knott's.
Mark?
It would be a toss-up, but since I'm easily influenced and suggestible, I too will say Knott's.
I would have thought it would be Magic Mountain. But it's actually Knott's Berry Farm. Knott's Berry Farm averages 4.2 million annual visitors. Six Flags Magic Mountain averages 3.4 million visitors. Mm-hmm. I would have been wrong. The reason why we're talking about this, and yes, we'll have the YouTube video back in just a second. We're just making some technical changes. The reason we're talking about this is because Six Flags is selling off some of its amusement parks, and since both Six Flags Magic Mountain and also Knott's Berry Farm are two of the highest attended amusement parks, they're safe. They're not going anywhere. But Six Flags is selling some of their other parks, and I also want to talk about this story because I'm familiar with the other two parks that they are selling, and they're both in the Washington, D.C. area. It's Six Flags America Amusement Park and Hurricane Harbor in Maryland. Both will close after the 2025 season. And they're relatively close in proximity, and it's strange to have one company to have two parks that close together. And I say this, watch this story. Watch this because I think this is an indication of where entertainment is going. I think there are going to be fewer amusement parks in the future because of our concept of entertainment is still changing, and there are more things that we can do without spending the money, I should say corporations spending the money to create these huge amusement parks. The whole idea, like for example, Disneyland, their new rides are more interactive experiences now than actual roller coasters. You don't need that physical space like you did in previous decades and generations. You get on a ride like Smuggler's Run, probably the line outside the ride is physically bigger and takes up more space than the actual ride itself.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're still going to have amusement parks in the way that we presently conceive of them in, let's say, 20 years. Is Disneyland going anywhere? No, but probably how we conceive of an amusement park will be completely different. I think it'd be more like you would have the interactive 3D world where you could put it, like when we had Adam Contras come in and you have that immersive experience.
Right.
That's where I think actual amusement parks are going.
Or just entertainment, period.
Yeah, also.
Is it like, I don't know, have you been on the Transformers ride at Universal?
I haven't. Twala, have you?
Yeah, I have. Yep.
Is that kind of what Smuggler's Run is like?
Similar. Where it's lots of visual effects, and the ride itself, the car you're sitting in, it moves,
There's like some real elements, but then there's a lot of video.
But most of it is just visual.
It's like a simulator, isn't it?
A simulator, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I think all these amusement parks are going because it costs a lot of money for them to run, obviously. You need to have a lot of acreage for the parks. You can't quickly switch out rides for these amusement parks. If you're going to get rid of one roller coaster and build another, that's an extremely expensive endeavor, as opposed to the newer type rides, which are more software than anything.
So do you think that they're just going to be selling these properties because no one is coming in to launch an independently owned amusement park?
No,
that's out.
I can understand why they would want to sell them. I look at what amusement parks are going through. It's the same thing as what our industry, radio industry, is going through. Think of it this way. We don't need to have a physical radio station anymore to provide audio content either locally or nationally. We can do this show from basically someone's house. The equipment is such that the technology is such that we don't need that physical space that historically we've used with a broadcast transmitter. Most people, look, we had to fight to keep AM radio in people's cars, because technology has moved to a certain point where we didn't need, as in a functional sense, need AM radio. It provides a valuable service. But as far as entertainment offerings, we didn't need AM radio for that. Now most people have Bluetooth, and if you have any type of Bluetooth knowledge, you can hook up to any station, anywhere, listen to podcasts, books on tape. The way we consume entertainment, is where I'm going with this, is still changing. And I look at the sale of these two amusement parks, you kind of see that we're not necessarily looking for that type of experience in the way that we did 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And you brought it to my attention how Disney was going into the real estate business.
They are moving beyond trying to expand their theme park and saying, we need to go on and have some interactive living communities where people have a lot of amenities where at home, right outside their door, not trying to go too far anymore, not trying to get into a parking lot and spend all that money on parking, finding a space, going into the park and just being tired. And unfortunately, this is not singling out any amusement park, but unfortunately, people don't know how to act out in public anymore.
Well, it's like the movies for me. You know, I don't want to deal with the public, and maybe we will have amusement parks, but they'll be more about experiences as opposed to the physical roller coasters and rides that we're all so familiar with from decades ago. I don't see, like, think about it. If I were 25. I would go to Six Flags Magic Mountain. I wouldn't go to Disneyland.
I don't even know if you'd want to go to Six Flags if you're 25. And you may, but Six Flags, last time I was even there dropping my kids off to go, it kind of looked like what you describe Carnival Cruises as.
Oh, say no more.
It looks like, so this is just where young people who, I don't know if they're here to ride rides. They look like they're either here trying to holler at dudes trying to holler at the young ladies and vice versa, or they're looking like they're up to no good because the parking lot, I'm like, well, this looks like this is where fights go down. What is happening here?
I was going to say that's just like that's like the last antiquated mall type of where kids kind of meet up that can't go to a club yet. That's kind of still, I think, a thing.
I think that's a great point because young people are always going to look for a spot to hang out. And how we consume entertainment, like, look, how we consume, I should say, purchase things has changed tremendously over the past 5-10 years. I did all my shopping and I didn't have to leave my house. I'm talking about like grocery items, talking about clothing items, toiletries, personal items. It's great, if only because the infrastructure is set up where I can get it all within 24 hours for the most part. There's no reason for me to walk into a lot of spots. I have no reason to go to a mall. I just don't. Similarly, I think we're moving in that same direction. If I'm not too far out in front of this, we're moving in a similar direction with amusement parks. Because if Six Flags is selling off these parks, they've already made the calculation that it's not the money maker that it was 20 and 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And they don't need them in every market. Now, 20, 30 years ago, they were trying to build them. The bigger the roller coaster, the better. But we're past that now.
Yeah, and plus people only go to destination places to go to amusement parks. You go to Disneyland here in California because it's also in California.
It's a vacation spot.
Vacation spot. You're not trying to go to Kentucky just to go to an amusement park. That's not what you go there. You're like, I'm trying to drive through here. I don't want to stop at Kentucky Fried Flags or whatever. Yeah, no, that's Cincinnati in the Six Flags. No, I don't want to be in Cincinnati for any reason.
I say Cincinnati because it's like right next to Kentucky. Yes, I know it's in Ohio, but I'm saying, when you're in the Midwest, maybe it had some allure. I know we got to go to break. When we're in the Midwest, maybe it had an allure that you didn't have to go all the way to California to have that vacation weekend with the amusement park. But, it's obviously not making the money that it once did. It's Later with Mo Kelly. Yes, Stephen, I'm going to break. Why is it you're still here and you haven't gotten our food yet?
I can't get
KFI AM 640. I don't want to hear the excuse. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and YouTube.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube in the iHeartRadio app. Yes, we are playing the game tonight for prizes. Name that movie called Classic, and it's only going to be open for first-time callers and mothers. Of course, Mother's Day is not until the 11th, if I'm not mistaken. It's a week and 2 days away. But it's only open for first-time callers and mothers. The movies don't have any theme, but any of our participants or competitors, they will be winning passes to Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. Did you know that they've already started selling tickets to Coachella for next year? Already.
I believe it.
Already. Okay? And Carnisha made a great point during the break. Who in the world would buy tickets to Coachella next year and you have no idea who's going to be performing? Now, you can buy tickets for the first weekend or second weekend, but you don't know who's going to be performing the first or the second weekend. And they're not cheap. And they're only offering 3-day passes. So it's not like you can say, I just want to pay for Sunday the first week or the second week. Carnisha, you're on video. Just want to let you know. That's Carnisha. She runs our chat for us.
I was just going to say real quick, it's funny because I remember when you could just buy one of the days back then, and now you just can't, you have to buy the whole weekend.
3-day general admission pass for the first weekend. You want to take a guess how much it costs? 3-day general admission pass for weekend one. It's a different price for weekend two.
Isn't it like $500?
You're warm. $599.
Oh.
$599, 3 days. And for weekend two, it's $549. 3-day general admission plus shuttle pass. Want to take a guess for weekend one?
I think it's closer to 1,000.
No. This is actually the in-between one. So this is $729.
Oh, okay.
For weekend one and $679 for weekend two. Now you can get your $1,000 on for the 3-day VIP pass. Weekend one, I'll save you the suspense. $1,299. And $130 of that is fees. What? What are fees? Just fees? 3-day weekend two VIP pass is $1,199. You can buy them now, but you will have no idea who is going to be performing any day or any weekend. I would hate to think that I bought tickets for weekend one, and if there is someone I want to see, they're showing up weekend two. And you're not going to know that. I don't know when they announce the artist, but I think it's not for many months. I mean, there's no way you could book this far out, all these artists.
No way.
For all those stages, there's no way in the world.
I think it's around March.
Yeah.
Because I know it's in April. But, yeah, I can't fathom the thought of buying something that you don't know what you're going to get.
Oh, it gets worse. People can buy these on layaway. You can put down $49 at checkout. Mm-hmm. And you can make 8 equal payments of $55 with no added interest. In other words, you have to pay it off before the end of the calendar year. I'm not ever going to, I'm not going to pay for a concert, but I'm not going to buy tickets on layaway. No, sir.
No, but this is actually a better option for many people who are trying to do the whole weekend. So you will say, look, man, I want my cabana, I want my tent, or I want a better space. It may be too much for me to pay for right now. I'm going to go on and take care of everything. I'm going to put a down payment down, $50 a month, till the end of the year. I'm going to do that.
Hear about this, though. You can car camp for $160.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a $10 transient occupancy tax. What I don't understand. What the hell is that?
Just you being out there, just you laying out there in the field with your sleeping bag or whatever. Yeah.
There's a group car camping. They're $160 for the weekend. There's preferred car camping, $420, which guarantees a camping spot close to the festival entrance. Mind you, this is separate from the tickets. Just because you have a car camping pass, it doesn't mean you get in. It just means that you can park your car on the grounds, somewhat close to the stages. There is a preferred front row car camping, $520. There's a powered car camping, which is $620. Car camping in a guaranteed spot with a power outlet and access to upgraded restroom and shower facilities. Ooh, wow. And there's ready set tent camping. That's me. That's what I would do. $690 camping in a preset limited edition Coachella souvenir tent. So you don't even have to bring your own tent.
No, they set it up for you. It's still just a tent, though. It's a tent.
Oh, but I got more. There's La Campana camping, $2,600 for one queen bed or two twins, and $3,300 for two queens or four twin beds.
Yeah, that's in a big giant
glamping.
Those are those big ones, right? Kind of glamping.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
You're still outside.
Yeah.
There's the Lake El Dorado camping package, which is $2,300 for one person, $3,000 for four. It's a private, secluded, ready-to-go camping lodge. And there's safari camping, $10,000. The ultimate Coachella glamping experience with guest passes, golf carts, and more. Buck that. Buck all of that.
Look, this is what the kids want to do, though. The kids want to do this. And
not for $10,000.
Look, trust and believe. They are already lining up to do this. They're already signing up sight unseen, because you know one thing for a fact: there are going to be humongous acts on these stages, no matter what. It doesn't matter. Coachella's not like they're going to say, we've got Jebediah and the crew up there playing banjos. No, it's going to be someone you want to see. And people who perform on weekend one, you perform on weekend two. So it's not like you're going to be missing. It's just you get them either weekend one when they're fresh and ready to go, or you get them weekend two when they've already worked on all the kinks in their show. If I'm spending
$10,000, there can't be any unknown variables.
There's always variables. There are people who don't show, people who show who aren't supposed to show because they're making up for someone who didn't show.
And on top of that, Mo, it's going to sell out.
Oh, that's yes.
See, that's why I get to go on vacation every year, because I don't waste my money on bull-ish like this. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We have the Rahner Report when we come back. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now on Later with Mo Kelly, Mark talks about movies and TV, pontificates about pop culture. Rahner Report with Mark Rahner.
It's time for the Rahner Report. Mark, go.
I had really been looking forward to Thunderbolt, and I'm not going to jerk you around. It does not disappoint. Okay, now you can listen to something else. Are you still here? All right, here's some trailer to masticate on.
Elena, being a hero, there is no higher calling. Your sister understood something about that.
I should have come back for you.
No. That's just a fairy tale.
I was in high school when the Avengers came. Kind of strange that it's all over now. No one's coming to save the day.
I think we are. We can be the ones that are coming.
Bucky, you have the wrong people. We have all done bad things.
Look, I've been where you are. The past doesn't go away. So you can either live with it forever, or you can do something about it. I am a void. Look what you unleashed. You can't outrun the emptiness.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
We all have things that we regret.
But I have so many.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
We can't stop him alone. No one can. But we can find a way. Together.
All right, I'm going to cut that a little short because we're running short on time here. I am a sucker for the kind of dirty dozen stories that involve corralling some bad guys to go on a good guy mission. And that's essentially what happens here. Bad guys, anti-heroes, self-redeemed, former bad guys. Here's your roster. You got Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. He started as Captain America's pal. He became a Hydra assassin, snapped out of it, and is now a freshman congressman in the movie as it starts. That's Sebastian Stan. Yelena Belova, a Black Widow, sister of the Scarlett Johansson, Natasha Black Widow, who got killed a few movies back. That's Florence Pugh. Her Russian father, the Red Guardian, that's David Harbour from Stranger Things. He's the buffoonish, gung-ho comic relief in the movie. Also, most things just sound funnier with a Russian or Eastern European accent. Try it. I promise. Is good. Potato. There's John Walker, the disgraced ex-brief Captain America replacement, played by Wyatt Russell. He's kind of an exasperated a-hole with none of the nobility that Chris Evans as Captain America radiated, and he seems to know it. Ghost, played by Hannah John Kamen. She was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Kind of the least memorable of the villain heroes here. She can turn invisible and phase through stuff, but she levels up a bit and has some good dialogue and some action moments. There's also a dorky guy named Bob, played by Louis Pullman, the son of Bill Pullman. He was in a pretty watchable remake of Stephen King's Salem's Lot recently, and Bob has some issues that are going to turn into a major problem for everyone. There's Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She returns as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, the unscrupulous manipulator from other Marvel stuff. She's running the CIA now and facing impeachment hearings while she does more super manipulating. In this case, trying to get all the loser semi-heroes to off each other at first and cultivating another super being who's more of a badass than all of them put together and who's also really unstable. You could spend some quality nerd time going down the list of who you would like to be on the team. I kind of wish they'd brought in Zemo. Maybe it was just the scene of him dancing, but I've been on Team Zemo since the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. And just to be clear, Zemo dancing, righteous, dance off at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, cringe, awful, terrible. Marvel's been hit and miss, especially recently, but Thunderbolts is no Thor Love and Thunder or Shang-Chi or Wakanda Forever. It's lots of fun, and it nails this mix of comedy and action that Marvel does best. The dialogue of all these misfits who have to work together is funny. The action scenes are well done, especially at the start of the movie with Yelena just plowing through a bunch of bad guys. They give Winter Soldier a supremely cool entrance on a motorcycle after things have gotten going. That'll just make you wish he had a whole movie of his own. Ghost, not so much. The director is Jake Schreier, who's maybe known for the Netflix miniseries Beef to the extent he's known at all to normal civilians. This is a huge leveling up for him, and I think he's going to be around for a while. The movie starts off with what seemed to me like a really sloppy bit of plotting. These super losers are initially all sent separately to a facility to kill each other by Valentina, which of course they don't do. This is some sub-James Bond foolishness. Let me tie you to this chair and leave you unsupervised in this room. Nope. Let's set them all up to fight and assume none of them will talk at all, say a word. I think the climactic segment of the movie is going to be polarizing, and I can't go into much detail about that without spoiling it. It wraps up the theme at the beginning of having to do with Yelena, the Black Widow, finding life meaningless and full of painful memories of things she's done. But the movie takes this left turn from the kind of super action you might expect into some arguably cheesy territory. It's not enough to ruin the movie, but you might find yourself sitting there thinking, hey, did they really just solve that by doing that? Come on! And I can't prove the filmmakers were big Star Trek V fans, but an element of Thunderbolts is heavily reminiscent of that, involving all the major characters revisiting traumatic events from their past that shaped them. You definitely want to sit through all the credits because there are 2 extra scenes you won't want to miss, mostly the one at the very end of all the credits, which sets up some other cool stuff I will not spoil. That's all I'm going to say about Thunderbolts. One more quick bit of nerd business. You probably never got around to seeing Hellboy, the Crooked Man, because almost no one did. It was the 4th film in the series, with the 3rd actor playing Hellboy, barely released in theaters, made a lousy $2 million on a $20 million budget, essentially dumped straight to VOD. I don't know why. And it is by far the best of the 4. I don't understand why nobody's been talking about it, except that maybe people avoided it because it seemed like a failure, and that created kind of a fail spiral of avoidance. It's darker, much closer to the comics by Mike Mignola, stays in the folk horror monster territory of his stories, and he co-wrote it from one of his comic book stories. I caught it on Hulu, and I've read that it's doing well there. I will say Hellboy the Crooked Man is slightly cheaper looking, kind of like a CW show, and doesn't have the directing flair of the first 2 movies by Guillermo del Toro, but don't let that put you off. It's still better than both of his. And between those 2 movies, Thunderbolts and Hellboy the Crooked Man, that's a few solid hours of nerd time that you could have spent knowing the touch of a woman. Mo?
The touch of a woman.
Yes.
I saw Thunderbolts last night. I don't have as glowing a review, so I'm not going to step on yours. I just said I liked it. I didn't love it. I'll leave it at that. I liked it, but, I liked Captain America Brave New World more so.
I think it's kind of a photo finish between the 2. Neither are perfect. You heard what my complaints were, but I had a great time watching it. I was happy I went. I was happy I saw it in a theater with other humans who were also not having sex.
Yeah.
I think the nerd couple next to me might have gone home and gotten it on immediately, though. They were very, let's just say, demonstrative in the theater.
Yeah, that's why I don't like going to the theater anymore. There's just too much going on. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app.
Nothing gets past us. We are on it.
KFI
and KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live